Okay, so we're talking about with the current election on the go right here, the federal Liberals. What is their housing platform, and what do you break down on it? So basically, what we have here is we really have a platform that has some very vague campaign promises that a couple of them actually are interesting and kind of fleshed out. Would make a difference, but many of them would just like completely miss the mark. So first one is planning a proposing a ban on foreign buying. So this has long been perceived a problem in the Canadian market. The market is being pushed up by foreign buyers from outside Canada. It's interesting to note that a lot of countries do not allow foreign investment. You go to many countries such as New Zealand, you can't buy a home if you're a foreign investor there. And so Canada has one of the most least restrictive policies in buying a home if you are a non-immigrant. And so there is a perception of the market that that's often what's pushing up the market. People buying homes in a place like Toronto, Vancouver, storing their cash tax free or whatever it is from that perspective. Now, in 2016, there was research and a survey done that less than 4% of transactions involve a foreign buyers, and so. And I think that is further solidified by the fact that in the last 18 months during COVID, there hasn't been the ability for people to buy things from the foreign perspective, whether they're new immigrants or whatever it is. Um, that is, people couldn't have immigrated in as easily during that time frame. So I don't think that's as big of the market as people say, and research has proven that that doesn't actually have as big of an effect as well. The other thing is that we have to consider that like new immigrants, which is I think this is where people get mixed up. What's a foreign investor is not living in the country, not putting money in beyond buying the home, but we're talking about new immigrants coming in and buying homes, which even that is not as big as people think. But still, I mean, a new immigrant comes in, buys a home, puts money into the economy. That's certainly not a negative thing. So I think that this would be welcome, that people think this is what causes affordability problems in Canada. And so generally, I mean, that's what the Conservative parties have it as well. Generally, that's something that people will see as being a positive, but I don't think it'll make any effect whatsoever. Um, Liberals put together a program also saying they're going to invest into $1.4 million homes. Now, the biggest problem in the market right now is that there is supply and demand. There is not enough houses for how many people are buying houses. And also, density is a big problem. There's not enough people that are willing to live in a smaller space. They want a bigger place, so they want two places. And so people, I call it house hoarding right now. It's a very interesting thing, and I actually think it's definitely my favorite thing about this platform is that they would convert empty offices into housing. So that's interesting because will there be office space that's not being used and that's not being used because people don't go back to offices, and they put that into housing? Flushed out properly, that could make an impact on affordability in the market. No question about that. Introducing a renovation tax credit and adding secondary units to the home. Look, that's only going to affect that there's going to be more. That's going to enable there to be more renters in the marketplace. Now, more renters is not going to mean that more people cross the threshold of homeownership. So again, it's a bit of a hodgepodge thing. There's a number of directions that can go. There is some angles that could go where that could make a positive effect, but I doubt that they really will with what they're putting on here. The last real part of it is what's called banning what's called blind bidding. So you go up into, and we don't really even call it blind bidding for that matter, but somebody goes in and makes multiple offers. So there's a property on for sale. They're accepting offers on Tuesday, and about 15 people are going to put in offers on it, and away you go. They like to instate something where people, something like an Australian market where someone might auction the home off on a lawn, so everybody's seeing the bids and that type of thing. Look, I think that probably a bidding perspective is going to be a situation where actually I imagine that will actually backfire, and you'll actually have homes go for much more than they would without there being blind bidding on it. I mean, there's not everything goes to multiple offers, and certainly not in different market situations. But again, a little bit of a vague and clumsy principle from that perspective. So not really a lot of teeth behind a lot of these things. There's another program here, $40,000 first-time home buyers, tax-free. That's going to make no effect whatsoever on the market. A few reasons around that. $40,000 is not going to hit the mark on a number of things behind, on some house values. Like if you're looking at average house price $1 million, $40,000 isn't even enough to still make the down payment on it. Also, this is not a problem. People are not having a problem necessarily saving money or like all those like it's not an issue. Like, these are tax credits. People are not being restricted from buying a home because they're getting too much from taxes. That's just not the case. Is what's happening. So even though that all sounds good, that's going to make virtually no effect on the market. So a lot of things here. They're just rearranging the chairs on the Titanic, so to speak. So a couple things that are interesting, that have potential, but I'm not hopeful on those things. So anyway, that's just my opinion. Hopefully that's helpful to you. If we can help you with anything on how you get into homes, certainly reach out to us. We'd be happy to go into each of these programs a little more depth and explain how that would work for you. We'll talk to you soon.